and konnichiwa, I'm Tomoko, your Japanese food ambassador. Starting today, we'll learn about Japanese fermentation and then its health benefit and then how to eat them deliciously. Today we're exploring about natto, Japanese breakfast staple. While it's famously healthy, even for those Japanese food lovers, it's one of the most acquired taste and the smell. Compared to Western breakfasts like pancakes, cinnamon roll, or bacon, ammonia-like smell of natto is not something you want to wake up to. And the slimy texture, it's not as fun as fluffy waffles. I'm not really selling natto, am I? But I love natto. But even with all that bad publicity, millions of Japanese people like myself love natto. Why? Well, as you can imagine, there's no other food like natto. As far as health is concerned, natto is a superfood. Rich in vitamin B1 and B2, natto boosts your immune system, promotes clear skin, and has anti-aging properties. Natto bacteria is great for gut health as it contains unique enzyme called natto kinase, which you probably have seen as a supplement. Natto kinase is known to prevent strokes, heart attacks, and it's great for keeping your blood pressure in check. If those weren't enough, natto is also rich in proteins and fiber, which makes it perfect diet food. And the list goes on, so it's not surprising that when the coronavirus hit the world, people actually thought eating natto would prevent you from contracting the virus. While it may boost your overall health, sadly, this didn't turn out to be true. So now I probably sold natto, you are probably wondering where to find it. Check out the freezer section at your local Japanese and Asian grocery stores or next to soy products. You should find it. These are basic 3 kinds of natto you should know, and the differences between them have to do with the size and the texture of soybean used. Natto made with small soybean is called kotsubu. Natto that uses bigger soybean is otsubu. And natto made with crushed soybean is kikiwari. They all taste similar, so it just comes down to your preference of mouthfeel and what you might be using it for. Crushed natto hikiwari is suited for sushi rolls and in pasta dishes. Because it comes in small pieces, this is usually a children's favorite. While the size really comes down to your preference, one thing I recommend is picking fresh locally made natto over the frozen kind shipped from Japan. With fresh local variety, I can actually taste the individual soybeans and the texture is better. And between you and me, I think it's less smelly. Speaking of smell, there are actually natto brands that advertise as less smelly or even smell-free. Let's smell one. It says Niowa natto. It's like we don't smell natto. No smell natto. Let's try it. It still smells, compared to other kinds. So let's try this one. Slightly less, but it still smells. It touches my nose, so I'm gonna smell natto all day today. Now we know the benefit, let's eat natto. First, natto kinase. The healthful enzyme that I mentioned earlier is destroyed in higher temperature over 160 Fahrenheit. So maximize the benefit of natto kinase, you need to find a not too cold, not too warm Goldilocks zone. So leave natto at room temperature for about 20 minutes before eating. It will give natto kinase a chance to breed in a warmer temperature. The most common way to eat natto is over rice, but it may not be popular with natto beginners, so I'll be preparing another gateway dish to Japanese food, Natto Toast. First, mix room temperature natto with chopped kimchi, which is also great fermented food, with little mayonnaise and then soy sauce. I added a little fermented hot sauce for more heat. Next, spread onto a slice of toasted bread and then top it off with an American cheese single. Yes, that's right, you heard me correctly. This Japanese dish works perfectly with something you probably already have in your fridge. Once you top it off with cheese, put it back in a toaster until the cheese melts. I think American cheese works great for this recipe, but if you find another cheese that works well, please let me know. This is one of my favorite way to eat natto, and you can actually put this natto and kimchi mix into omelette as well. My dream is one day to see a natto toast on the menu at the cute Silver Lake Cafe. The next two dishes I want to share are quite Japanese, so open your mind to something new and then I bet you really like it. Do you like sashimi? If so, then there is a dish called Kaisen Natto in Japan that you'd really love. It's a mix of chopped seafood and a natto with some shibazuke pickles for color, flavor, and texture. This dish really works well with smaller beans. Needless to say, this is great on rice, but it's also a great snack on its own with sake. For those who might complain about the smell of natto, this next recipe is for you. In a pan, add miso, meating, grated ginger, and then some water, and then stir well. Then add whisked egg and then mix quickly so the egg will cook evenly. The smell of ginger and then the miso offsets the strong smell of natto and then create wonderful flavor of its own. It's so good that you can eat it as is or put on tofu, rice, or noodles. Do you trust me enough to try natto now, or are you still scared? That's okay, you watched this far. That's good enough for now. Please leave a comment about how you like or dislike your natto. Thanks and arigato for watching. Until next time, ではまた。